Hello, hello, hello. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Wednesday night's Periscope. Just going to give people a few minutes to join. Lee is straight in. Boom. Lee, got your email, mate. I owe you a phone call. I'm going to call you rather than write all an email. I think I saw Warren join. We've got Hijalti Hiviklit. I can't read your username, but thank you for joining us. Let us know where you're viewing from. Good evening, Warren. How are we doing? We're going to give people a few seconds, like I say, guys, just as always, while we just have a little chat. Welcome to those who don't know me. My name's Ross. I'm an actor and a voiceover artist from Manchester here in the UK. I Periscope twice a week. Good evening, Scott. Great to see you on the scope again, buddy. Periscope twice a week, once on a Monday, once on a Wednesday at 10 PM. Girly whirly, good evening, UK time. So if you're in the States, that's going to be whatever time it is for you guys. But yeah, 10 PM UK time, a bit earlier in the day for those in America. And on a Monday, we do something called Mind Hacks and Motivation, or Motivation and Mind Hacks. I always get it the wrong way around or mixed up. Hello, Girly whirly. And that's exactly what that sounds like. That's like little hacks that are going to help you in your life, help you hack your mind, help you biohack, sometimes help your body, things that are going to help you get further in your life faster. I'm an actor, so a lot of people who join these scopes are actors, but all what we talk about is relevant to everybody. Verona's here again. Good to see you, Verona. How are you doing? So tonight is Wednesday night, so it's book club, and we this month's book for April is a guy called Jack Canfield. No problem, Lee. Just seen your message there, mate. I'll give you a call, dude. Jack Canfield wrote this book called The Success Principles. Jack's an awesome American author, entrepreneur, just all-round kind of coach, mentor, great guy. Built a business from nothing that's now worth over $80 million. So he knows what he's talking about, and he distilled down. It's 60 odd, isn't it? I think 62. No, it's not even that. It's 64. Nina, good evening. 64 success principles, and we've covered 2 of them so far. And this is the 3rd one. We've got 1 more we'll cover next Wednesday, and then we get a new book, which is going to be Gary Keller's The One Thing for May. Okay, so everybody, if you want to join in and you want to read it, because I can only read 4 chapters on these Periscopes, 1 a week, then you have to buy the book. If you're watching the replay, you can buy this book by clicking the link underneath the video. Before we start, I just want to say how gutted I am about Victoria Wood dying today. I can't believe it. Victoria Wood, for those, I'm sure everybody knows who Victoria Wood is. But if anyone's watching in the States and they don't know, Victoria Wood was a legendary comedian, or comedian. I think everyone's classed as a comedian these days. So sad, says Girly Willy. Yeah, it was. She was just so great. Victoria Wood was a brilliant comedian from the north, near where I am in Manchester here. Great friends with people like Julie Walters. They did a double act kind of throughout the 80s that were absolutely hilarious, and I just love it. I love Dinner Ladies. I love all the old stuff. I love Can't Do It Tonight. She would play on the piano, and she was 62. So I was like, wow, it's just like it's no age at all. But like I always tell everybody, okay, we've got to focus on what we can control. Okay, we can't control any of that stuff, so don't be all sad about it. Focus on what you can control and make your life worth living like now, because you know Victoria didn't get a chance to live as long as she should have done. I know Nina says, what is it with this year? So many gone. Ronnie Corbett, Paul Daniels, Victoria Wood. It's not been a great year really, has it, for entertainment? Although people die every day, you know, and we just don't hear about it because they're not famous. So equally their lives are just as important, but it should highlight in you whether you are living the life you want to live now, because I guarantee you Victoria Wood would not have given a shit about ringing an agent or a casting director or anybody in order to get where she wanted to go if she knew she was going to die today. Okay, she wouldn't care about that. So, you know, live like, not like it's your last day. I don't want you to live like, oh, I'm going to die tomorrow. But make today count, basically. It's as simple as that. In whatever way, no matter how big, how small, do something today that's going to make it count. And to help you with that, brings me on to the next chapter of Jack's book. So last week we looked at something called the Rule of 5. Who's been doing the Rule of 5? I said we'd do this on the Facebook group. So for those who aren't familiar with it, the Rule of 5 was where you choose 5 things to do every day. Just small things that are going to help you get further towards your goal. I've been doing it in the business. I've not been doing it in my personal life. I've been doing it in the business for the websites that I run, so for Acts on This, and I created a document of standard operating procedures, all very corporate, of 5 things that I would do each day, and they would be like, okay, you've got to do 1 Facebook post, you've got to do 1 Instagram post, 1 Snapchat. I started getting on Snapchat again tonight. Follow me on Snapchat, guys. I need some support at Ross A. Grant. I'm very new to Snapchat. It's a bit like Periscope Snapchat, but you just post little videos that aren't live. And it's been working for me. I've been just boxing off those 5 things each day. And I feel that, I don't know, I think because I can look at what I've done, whereas before it would be all very ad hoc, and I'd just be like, oh, well, I must have done 5 things today, but I didn't actually write them down, I didn't know exactly what they were. I feel I've got more direction now. I've not tried it like in my own career or like personal life right now, but if you tried it and you implemented that, let me know, and this will help you with that as well. Now, this is principle 21, and it's called keep score for success. So we're all big on goal setting. I talk about goal setting a lot. I talk about tracking your goals, but this is doing it in a little bit of a different way. Again, Jack puts a little spin on things that I like, makes it different, so it's not like reading the same book over and over again you read on personal development. It's quite different. Been trying, but it's not easy to keep momentum. Been writing them in my diary. It's because it's new, Nina. I found because it's because it's change, innit? And we don't, we know we don't like change. We back away from change because it's uncomfortable. And forming a new habit, maybe on day 1 it's like, oh fine, I'll write down my 5 things. But by day 3, day 4, you can start becoming a bit of a chore, can't it? But it's not until you push through that habit gravity, reach escape velocity, over the hill, 30 days it takes of doing it, it becomes part of what you do. These periscopes, they're just part of what I do now. I've been doing it for so long. By the way, we've nearly hit 100 periscopes, guys. We're going to do something special for the 100th one. So I'm glad you've been at least trying it, Nina. That's really, really good. So it starts off this chapter with a quote, and it says, you have to measure what you want more of. Okay, you have to measure what you want more of. And as I read this, I thought, I don't measure enough of what I want more of in my life. It says, remember when you were growing up? Let me know who used to do this. Thanks for sharing, Verona. Thanks for sharing the scope. Remember when you were growing up and your mum or dad measured you every few months and kept track of your height on the wall near the pantry door? Whose mum and dad did that? Did you make them do it? I did. As a kid, you'd make them do it. Measure me, let's see if I've grown. And they'd put like a little marker line on where you were, and then you'd have like a door frame somewhere in the house with like hundreds of these marks on. Nina says, yeah, I definitely did it as a kid. It was like, it's exciting, isn't it, to know that you're growing. Jack says it was something visible that let you know where you stood in relation to the past and to your future goal, which was usually to be as tall as your mum or dad, okay? It let you know you were making progress. It encouraged you to eat right and drink your milk to keep growing. I don't know about that. I lived in a sweet shop. My parents owned a sweet shop growing up, so I don't know if I ate right. I do nowadays. But yeah, it did encourage you to keep growing. Lee says, no, mine would have stopped before anyone else. Lee, you're not that small, man. You're fine. Dynamite, come in little packages. Don't worry about that, Lee. He says, well, successful people keep the same kind of measurements. They keep score of exciting progress, positive behaviour, financial gain, anything they want more of. So think, if you're doing anything like this in your life, are you measuring what it is you want more of? Okay, in his groundbreaking book, The Game of Work, Charles Coonrat, it's a bad name, isn't it? I've probably pronounced that very wrong. Every kid's dream a sweet shop, Nina. It wasn't that much of a dream, trust me. It was just a lot of trips to the dentist. But Charles says in his book that scorekeeping stimulates us to create more of the positive outcomes we're keeping track of. It actually reinforces the behaviour that created these outcomes in the first place. So if you're performing a certain behaviour, you're displaying a certain behaviour that's positive, that's getting you results, by tracking and measuring those results and those positive outcomes, it's actually going to reinforce the behaviour that started those positive outcomes in the first place. Think about it. Your natural inclination is always to improve your score, and it is. Who would say they're super competitive here? Sometimes I think I'm too competitive, right? I'll do stupid things. You might resonate with this. I'll get off the train and there might be like a load of stairs that I have to get up, to get across the platform. I'll secretly race people up the stairs and I don't even know who they are. But I'll be like, right, no, I'm going for it. And I'll start like doing 2 stairs at a time, dead casually, so they don't kind of know. But at least as he does that. But yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Sometimes I think, yeah, you're a bit, maybe a bit too competitive. That's why I had to stop going to the casinos. Oh my God, I thought I was the only person that does that. Oh, we all do it. Everybody does it. I wonder if everybody does it, but no one admits that they do it. Warren does that too. Or maybe we're just a group of weirdos. And we all do it. Maybe like actors do it or something because they're just competitive and we're getting rejected every day. So it's like, come on, we'll try and win something. Girly Whirly says no. So at least that's one person who doesn't do it. Lee says he always wins. Scott, thanks for sharing the scope, mate. So he says, yeah, think about it. Your natural inclination is always to improve your score. If you were to keep score on the 5 things that would advance your personal and professional objectives the most, so like we said, you know, there's 5 things from last week. If you were to keep score on those, imagine how motivated you would be each time the numbers improved in your favour. I agree with that. I think that's true, but I don't do it. So he says, measure what you want, not what you don't want, okay? We learn early in life that it's valuable to count what's valuable. Okay, we count the number of times we skip the rope, the number of jacks we pick up, the number of marbles we collect. I don't think he means jack as in like guys called Jack for the girls on the scope. Maybe in bowls or something, I don't know. Jack's in a few things, isn't it? The number of base hits we get in Little League is American, so it would be the number of goals we score in football when I was a kid. And the number of boxes of Girl Scout cookies we sell, that's American as well. Whatever it would be for you Girl Scouts, what do you sell? I don't know. But he says batting averages in baseball tell us the number of times we hit the ball, not the percentage of the times we didn't. So we're focusing on what we want. We're only focusing on the times we hit the ball, not the percentage of times we didn't hit the ball. We keep score mostly of what is good because that's what we want more of. So he says when Mike Walsh at High Performers International, we'll check Mike Walsh out maybe, High Performers International, Google it, when he wanted to increase his bottom line, he started keeping track not just of the number of enrolments his company was getting, but also how many cold calls employees were making, how many face-to-face appointments they set up, and how many of those appointments they turned into enrolments. As a result of this kind of scorekeeping, Mike saw a 39% increase in revenues in just 6 months because he was keeping score of it. And keeping score of the things that he wanted. He wasn't keeping score of how many cold calls you could have made but you didn't make. He was saying, okay, we've done 30 today, so okay, we're going to try and do 31 tomorrow, you know, just small increments. So he says it's not just for business owners anymore though, this is for everybody in every part of your life. When Tyler Williams joined a junior basketball league, so this is just some kid called Tyler, his father, Rick Williams, co-author of Managing the Obvious, decided to counteract the usual negative focus of youth sports by creating a parent scorecard to keep track of what Tyler did right rather than what he did wrong. So this is key, it keeps coming up, it's what you want, the things you're doing right, not the things you're doing wrong. He tracked 7 contributions his son could make to the team's success: points, rebounds, assists, steals, blocked shots, and so on. And awarded Tyler 1 point every time he made one of those positive plays. Whereas the stats kept by the coaches centered chiefly on points and rebounds, the 2 traditional forms of measurement used in junior basketball, Tyler's dad's scorecard awarded points for virtually everything positive accomplished during a game. So he was measuring anything that could be construed as positive. It wasn't long before Tyler was sprinting over during timeouts to check on his contribution points. When they reached home after the game, Tyler would hustle to his bedroom where he had a chart on the wall that plotted his progress. With a simple graph Tyler made himself, he could see where he was improving. As the season progressed, the line on his graph went steadily upward. Without a single harsh word from his coach or his dad, Tyler returned into a better basketball player and enjoyed the process besides. Tony Ross is the American in the house. You're going to know all about this basketball, baseball malarkey. Tony, good to see you though, buddy. So yeah, Tyler's dad was keeping track of all the good stuff, not focusing on the shots that Tyler missed, not focusing on the times he didn't block a shot, only focusing on the shots that he got, that he bagged, the goals, the basketball hoops. So useless with American sports. Okay, so keeping score at home, of course. Scorekeeping isn't just for business, sports and school. It can be applied to your personal life too. In the May 2000 issue of Fast Company magazine, Vinod Khosla, the founding CEO of Sun Microsystems, my brother used to work for Sun Microsystems, said, "It's great to know how to recharge your batteries, but it's even more important to make sure that you actually do it. I track how many times I get home in time to have dinner with my family. My assistant reports the exact number to me each month. I have 4 kids aged 7 to 11, so spending time with them is what keeps me going. Your company measures its priorities, and people also need to place metrics around their priorities. Okay, so he says, I spend about 50 hours a week at work, and I could easily work 100 hours. So I always make sure that at the end of it all, I get home in time to eat with my kids. Then I help them with the homework and play games with them. My goal is to be home for dinner at least 25 nights a month. Having a target number is key. I know people in my business who are lucky if they make it home 5 nights a month. I don't think that I'm any less productive than those people. So for him, he's not keeping score of finances, he's not keeping score of points in sport or anything like that. He's keeping track of his goal, his priority, which is getting home to eat with his kids. And he knows on a monthly basis if he's hit that number. You know, he goes, okay, I've done it 20 times this month, so next month I need to hit my target 25. So Jack finishes, he says, start keeping score today, okay? Decide, and I want some suggestions of things that we can keep track on that you think would be useful. Decide where you need to keep score in order to manifest your vision and achieve your goals. Make sure to keep score in all the areas of your life: financial, professional, school, recreation, and fun time. So that's a key one as well, you know. Make sure you're keeping track of the things that you know that are fun, that are going to actually recharge your batteries. Health and fitness is important, family and other relationships, personal projects, and contribution to others. Post your scores where you and any others playing the game can easily see them. So that's it. It's such a short chapter. That's why the book's so great. It's so massive, but the chapters are lovely and short like that. So I'd like us to choose one thing each and have a think about it that you want to keep track of, and you're going to set yourself a number of go, right, okay, and it might be I need to hit the gym twice a week, you know, I'm going to measure that, or I need to send 2 letters to filmmakers to try and make some short films with them this year, or I need to send covering letters to casting directors. Cliched one, isn't it? But you know, something we all do, you know, all the time. I want to apply for 5 castings on Casting Call Pro or Casting Networks, or you know, via Spotlight if you're direct, not through your agent, or whatever it is. A month, you know, to keep you going. For me, like I said, in the business side of things, for me it was getting on top of all the social media things. So I've got lists now of, you know, times in the day I need to be posting onto social media what's going on Acts on This, Good Evening Cat, and on Bulletproof Actor, because that's opening up again soon, all that kind of stuff. So for me, I can measure that very easily. But what things, give me some suggestions now, do you think you could measure? Tony Rossi, you've got some ideas on this. I'm sure you've covered stuff like this before. What things do you measure, or are you measuring right now in your life that maybe you need to keep a closer eye on, or maybe you're doing this? You know, let me know the things that you think you would need to keep track of in order to make sure that you're staying on it, and we can keep you accountable for that as well. People can share that in the Facebook group if they need help. I'm enjoying the amount of interaction in the Facebook group, which is good as well. People are interacting quite a lot today. I put a few posts up about castings and things. I've been poor at tracking. I tried to do this with income, says Tony. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, finances, definitely. If I didn't track finances in the business side of things, I need a bookkeeper. I mean, literally, I don't know if I can show you like how many, oh, not that one. Where is it? It's nearly tax time of year. Just how many invoices, oh no, that's like personal one, but invoices after invoices after invoices for the income for website, personal income, all that kind of stuff. I would be lost. I don't know how people go all year and then go, oh, it's tax time, I'm going to do my tax return today, and they've not actually done anything the entire year. They've got to try and do it all in like a week. I'd be like, you couldn't do that. I'd be left with thousands of invoices. So yeah, I have to make sure every Sunday I keep up to date with that. To keep me on track. Otherwise, you just feel completely overwhelmed and you never want to tackle it. And then you get in trouble with the tax, get put in prison, and all gets very awkward. Unless you're one of these massive super companies who just seems to never really have to bother with tax at all. So what else, guys? So Tony says finance. What else could you be tracking? Are you being proactive enough? to get yourself the work that you want. You know, are you doing all the things that you need to do, or are you doing them like I, you know, was doing until I started doing this 5 thing, bit ad hoc, presuming I was doing enough, but I couldn't say on paper if I was. I have a hell of a lot of lines to get through, and I'm not best focusing. I'm not the best at focusing on them. Oh yeah, so you could do that. You could do that, absolutely, Warren. You could chunk it down and go, right, okay, I've got these lines today. I'm going to chunk it down into paragraphs. I'm going to make sure that I've got 2 a day. That I'm, you know, 2 new ones every day, and then you're not sitting down to have to do 10 all at once. You're chunking it out. It's more manageable. It's definitely a better strategy, I think, and you can do it, and definitely, you know, just it's more manageable. You can do it in all areas of your life. This. I think if it gives any other examples, there's nothing. There's no other examples that it gives in this one. But yeah, just have a think. Think what you can do, and if you are prepared to put up in the Facebook group, I'd love to know, just in case I think, oh, that's a good idea, I'll do that too. So we're all learning. What else was I going to say? I had something else. Oh yeah, completely kind of off topic, but almost, if you have a look on the Facebook group, almost finished getting all the equipment together for the new video interviews we're going to start doing for Acts on This. They start next week. I need to audition more, so I guess I could track that, but I guess it's difficult to track progress. I think tracking number of auditions and positive outcomes from the auditions. Don't track the auditions in terms of I've had 10 auditions and I only got 1 part. We're tracking the things you want more of, so more positive experiences. So if you went to an audition, write down the name of the director that you met that time, the name of the casting director that you met. I think that's very valuable, because then you end up with a list of people and you're like, right, I've met, you know, Beverly Keogh, I've met Nikki Bly, I've met Daniel Edwards, blah blah blah, all these people, and the name of the directors, because we forget the names of directors. We all have the casting directors like concrete into our minds because we, you know, actors are approaching them all the time. The name of directors are just as important. I would write those down, then I would find them on Twitter as well. Make contact with them there, say thanks ever so much for seeing us today, you know, just make a little bit of a touch base. But when you've got a black book effectively of all those names, that's very, very valuable. Verona says you can track any auditions you submit for, that's a win too. Yeah, absolutely, just anytime you get seen, any positive outcome at all, just track it all. And any of the things that isn't positive, you're not tracking them. Like it says, like Jack says, we don't even care about them whatsoever. We're only tracking the positive things, so that you can see your progress. It's going to fill you up. When you feel you've done nothing and you're like, oh God, I'm still not getting anywhere, you can look back and go, actually, you know what, in the last 6 months I've met blah, 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 blah. I'm now going to touch base with them again and say, hey, remember me? I met you 6 months ago at this audition. I had a great time, just wondering, you know, what's coming up casting wise. I've updated my show reel. Here you go, love you to take a look. That's very valuable, I think, definitely. It was Jill Trevellick, I think, who cast out an Abbey, who said the value of that in a podcast I did with her. I think Janet Hampson might have said it as well. I think, yeah, definitely, like a little black book. Very, very important, because you need to know names just in life, you know. And if you're one of those people like me, you meet a lot of people and you're not that good with names, you end up calling a lot of people mate. And I'm like, oh, all right, mate. And I dread it when I'm with someone else who doesn't know the person I bumped into. They know my name, and then they're expecting me to introduce them. So I have to get in quickly and introduce the person who's with me to them, hoping they'll say, oh, nice to meet you. I'm such and such a thing. Because that's damn awkward when you don't know that. I always do that, and I'm really, really bad. I end up kicking the person next to me, going, introduce yourself, because help, please. I don't know the name. But yeah, that's a really good one. Keeping track of names and stuff is good. Finances is good. I think keeping track of workouts is good as well. If you aim to get in the gym 3 times a week, that'd be 12. Spitting everywhere. That'd be 12 times a month. I'm going to keep track of how many times I spit on Periscope. That'd be 12 times a month. Rack them up, and then you can go, you know, in the last week of the month, you can go, oh, I've only been at the gym 8 times, so I've got to do 4 sessions this week, not 3. It's just going to make you feel like you're winning, guys. I feel it is anyway, and I can't talk from experience because I've not done it yet. I only read this chapter today, but I'm definitely going to implement this into a couple of areas of my life, just to feel that you're making progress. And it might not be that you're actually doing more than you're doing now, but what you are doing is celebrating it more, because you're tracking it and saying, yeah, I appreciate how much work I am doing. Whereas sometimes we can feel like we're not doing that much because big things aren't happening all the time. So it's important to remind yourself that you are on track and that things are happening. You are being productive. So that's book club for this week. We've got one more chapter to read next week. Then the book for May is, if I can reach up here, is this bad boy that I've already delved into a little bit, but I won't spoil it for you. The One Thing by Gary Keller. It's written by Gary Keller with Jay Papasan. It's a New York Times bestseller. It's awesome. And it's all about productivity and just getting more done with less, really. Getting the big picture and the small focus. So your big picture, thing that you want, and then the small focus in order to get it. Similar to Essentialism by Greg McKeown. That was another book we did on book club, but different enough to introduce a few new things in a different way that I think will be very, very valuable for people. So if you want to get it in advance, get yourself on Amazon. It wasn't that dear. It says $8.99 on the back of the book, but on Amazon it's always cheaper in it. I think it's about $6.99. So you can get that. I'm going to release a podcast on Friday. Thanks to everybody so much for subscribing to the 5 to Thrive podcast. That's going to be back out this Friday. Brand new episode. Get yourself to iTunes, search for Act on This TV, all one word, and you will find it. There's 3 episodes up already. Please share it with your friends. Leave positive reviews if you like it. Any reviews, just leave a comment. Let me know what you think of it. Anything that you want me to focus on for a future podcast, tweet me. It's at Ross A. Grant, or tweet the website at Act on This TV. What's it about, please? So the 5 to Thrive podcast, Verona, is effectively a 5-minute, well, it's actually about 8 minutes, most of them, but a 5 to 10 minute version of a motivation and mind hacks Periscope that I do. So I used to scope Monday, Wednesday and Friday. But on a Friday night, not that many people could make it a lot because they would go out or they would have other commitments. So so everybody can benefit from that, even though I do the replays and stuff. But some people can listen to it when they're out and about or whatever. I'm going to do a podcast instead, put it on iTunes and Stitcher, but you can subscribe to it on iTunes, so it's delivered for free every week to your device. Good to listen to before you start your day, says Kat. Awesome. And they're just me, sometimes me plus a guest that I ring up on the podcast to surprise them. So I had Ruth Madeley on the second podcast a couple of weeks ago. She's been nominated for leading actress, best leading actress at the BAFTAs that are happening on the 8th of May. So she's doing great things right now. She's up against Saran Jones and Claire Foy and Sheridan Smith for the leading actress BAFTA. So she comes on to make an appearance in episode 2. I might have a little guest on when I record tomorrow for Fridays. I don't know yet. I might delve into the phone book and see who I can ring up. But they're just little bits of inspiration, motivation, mind hacks again, just things that are going to help propel you forward. How can I see I Don't Take My Baby? It's no longer an iPlayer. So I Don't Take My Baby was a drama that I did with Ruth, the girl up for the leading BAFTA, and she got the nomination from that drama. It was on iPlayer, yeah. I don't think it's not had a DVD release or anything like that, Lee. You'd probably be able to get it on one of these dodgy torrent sites and download it illegally. But I'm not recommending that. Although it's only, it's BBC, and you pay your license fee. Just do it. It's fine. You're entitled to it. Yeah, I mean, they come around on iPlayer now and again, don't they? So it'll be, I'm sure, before the BAFTAs, in kind of celebration of the fact that it's been nominated for the Best Single Drama BAFTA and Ruth's been nominated for Best Actress at the BAFTAs from that drama, it's going to be online again. So just keep looking, mate. Keep looking on BBC iPlayer. It will come out. It was a great little drama, really, really good, very close to home for me. It's about a guy who's got the eye condition that I've got, so I really wanted to be a part of it. So it's a really, really, really hard-hitting drama based on real life as well, which is cool. So check it out. But yeah, 5 to Thrive will be out on Friday. Please subscribe, share it with your friends, tweet me about it, spread the word. The more subscribers I can get to it and the more reviews we can get, the more exposure we can get for it, and hopefully, the better and better the guests will be, and the further the reach will, bigger the impact we'll be able to make. So that'll be Friday, and then we'll be back on Monday, guys, with another Periscope. If you've got any comments, suggestions, questions you want to ask, or any suggestions for features for Act on This, please put them in the Facebook group. If you're not part of the Facebook group yet, come to facebook.com/groups/Act on This TV. Request to join. The group is getting bigger and bigger now. I think we've got about 800 actors on there, and and it's growing every single day, and we only allow positive, you know, inspirational, decent people, great actors who want to get further in their career without whinging and moaning about it. Whinging and moaning is banned. Get it? Those who know of another group by the name of Ban will understand exactly what I mean. Whinging and moaning is banned from that group. It will get deleted. You know, we only want people who are actually focusing on what they want. Remember, in keeping score, we keep score of what we want. We don't keep score of what we don't want. It's bullshit. We keep score on what we want to keep you motivated internally to go out there and get it and make shit happen. Right, I'll leave you to it, guys. Enjoy the rest of your night. Thank you so much for watching. Appreciate every single last one of you. Just keep being brilliant, and I will well, listen to the podcast. Massive shout out, massive shout out to Eric James Dean, says Lee. Eric James Dean, I mentioned him on the Scope from Monday night. Went to an audition for a commercial for a big supermarket over here that had previously announced that they didn't want any Liverpudlian people on their adverts. The memo got leaked, it caused uproar. Eric's a Liverpudlian, went for the audition last week, and today he phoned me, he got the job. So big shout out to you, Eric James Dean. What a great name as well, Eric James Dean. It's actually his real name, I'm not even mucking about. Thanks Verona, thanks Lee, thanks everybody, cheers Warren, sleep well everybody. Get the podcast on Friday, subscribe, it'll come straight to your iPhone, iPod, iPad, Mac, whatever, PC, and I'll see you live again 10 PM Monday night, some motivation and mind hacks. Bye for now.